Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing some watercolor flower practice. So we're going to be doing three types of flowers: a rose, sort of an open cosmos, and a star-flowered star-shaped flower. So I've got some colours here mixed already. I have some alizarin crimson here. That's for one of the flowers. I then have some indigo and Payne's grey, and then I have a little bit of alizarin crimson with some cadmium orange pre-mixed here. So what we're going to be doing is I'm first just going to be talking you through the shapes that I like to do, and then we'll be drawing the flower at the end here. So we're just going to be doing petal drills, so just practicing the shape of the petals, and then towards the end we'll put the flower together in one piece. Okay, so just going in first, I'm going to go in with my rose. So I'm just going to be taking my alizarin crimson. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to be practicing these little C shapes. Okay, they're like half moon C shapes, and we just want them to that's all we're going to be doing, just doing small little C shapes, and we're going to be putting them around each other, and we're going to be doing that again. So we'll just do that again once more. Okay, so we're going to be again just doing this half C shape, and this is going to be the very center of your rose when you are first painting, when you first start painting. So just in a loose watercolor style, so just, you know, let your brush move freely. It doesn't really have to have any specific type of look. It is just, we're giving the illusion of the flower. Now this is where they are quite tight towards the center. Now for the middle, we're going to be doing sort of, think of it like a little mountain shape and then it comes down, or you can think of it like little rainbows, and they're just going to be a little bit more bigger, and we're pushing the brush down further onto the paper. So here we were using just the tip of the brush, and now we're using more of the body of the brush's body. Okay, so this is just more, so some pieces are going to touch and some pieces are not. And then for the largest part of the flower, these are going to be the widest, and so again we're going to be following the similar shape that we've been practicing, but now we're just using quite a large part of the brush. So again, just starting at the tip of your brush and then pushing down, and then just bringing it towards you, and again starting at the tip, pushing down towards you. Okay, and you're just gonna keep repeating that, and you can just do this in any shape that you want, but we're just going to be getting a shape like this. Okay, so now we're gonna go in and do a full rose. So starting with our C shape, we're just going to be putting it in together, and I kind of like to wiggle my brush a little bit because I think it just makes a bit more of a natural looking shape, and it just gives it a little bit more interest and just looks a bit more prettier in my opinion. Okay, and we're just going to keep pushing it out. There we go. Now as we're getting further and further away, remember we're leaving some gaps, and sometimes we are touching the other petals. This one is too jagged. Okay, and we're just going to be repeating the same thing over and over again. Okay, so we're going, and there you have it. I'm maybe just going to add one more here. There we go, and there you have a very simple and easy rose. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this is in a watercolor sketchbook or anything like that, just take any pen that you have on hand. I'm just going to be using a micron pen, and we're just going to be labeling. So this is step 1, so this is the first practice. Then step 2, which is the middle part of the rose, and then step 3, so that is the third step, and then this is the rose. Okay, all right, so moving on to our next flower. So our next flower, we're going to be practicing a star shape. Okay, so this doesn't have as many steps, but we're just going to be practicing the drill. So for this, I'm going to be using my indigo and Payne's grey mix. I'm just going in, just taking off any excess water. And so for this practice, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be holding the brush sort of in this style, and we're going to be starting at the tip again, pushing down and then lifting up and making sort of like a point. And then again we're going to do the same thing and we're going to connect it. So now we've got this sort of petal shape, and we're going to be doing 5 of these. So again, tip, push, and then again tip, push down and lift. And they don't have to be perfect, it's fine if they are a bit messy, but this is kind of the shape of the petal. So what you're going to do is just take your brush and you're just going to keep practicing. So you're going to just take the tip of your brush, push down, tip of your brush, push down, and just keep practicing and try and connect 1 to 2 together. And you're going to see if there's a little bit of white space, it's going to look good. So just like this, and this is all the flower really is, and it does have some sort of center bud, which you can just, this is just simply by just taking the tip of your brush and just dabbing it in at the middle, and that's sort of it. So that is the practice. We're going to do a few more leaves, so just give it a few more practices, and some of them can be a bit more bent, so they can be, sort of take your brush up and then bring it down, and then you can have it sort of bended in a way like this. This is if the flower is in a different perspective, so if you're not looking at it from straight up. You can also have ones that are bent sideways, so like this. So again, not trying to have a perfect petal, it is just about the practice and the shape. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to paint the complete flower. I'm realizing I may not have enough space, and it's maybe too short. And what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be taking the brush, pushing down, and we're just going to be lifting up. And the same thing happens here, pushing down and lifting up. So that's 1, and we're going to be doing 4 of these. Pushing down, lifting up, pushing down, lifting up. It is, and something that is helpful is if you, so that you stay in quite a, you keep the flower shape, is actually to turn your paper around like that. You're not having to bend your arms too much. Okay, and we're going to be doing that again. So just keep turning your paper around. This is a very good tip if you're new to flowers. I used it a lot when I first started painting. And then again, just going around, pushing and lifting, and there you have it. There is your very easy but very, very pretty flower. I'm just going to take a little bit of indigo now, and I'm just going to add a center bud by just making these little dots that meet in the middle. Oops, a bit too much. Okay, so there we go. Very simple, very easy to do. You can add a bit of character if you wanted to, you know, maybe add some definition. You can do some shapes and things like that. This is not a must, but sometimes it can just make your flowers look a little bit more, give them a little bit more dimension. Sorry. Okay, so there you go. There is your simple and easy loose watercolor flower. Okay, so for our last watercolor practice, we're going to be doing this sort of open cosmos, and we're going to be doing it at a perspective where it's sort of not flat but more, we're going to make it more 3-dimensional. So the strokes for the cosmos is kind of similar to the star flower, however the petals are more rounded. So what you want to do is you want to take your brush. So the first practice drill we're going to practice, you're just going to take your brush, starting at the tip, you're going to push down, and then you're not going to make a tip at the end. So if you can see, just by taking the brush off, lifting the brush when it is just at the middle, you end up with a round shaped petal. And so that's how you can get a very simple, extremely easy way to paint flowers. That's just a rounded petal there. And so with the Cosmos in a loose style, we're going to be doing this petal but in a different ways. So you're going to have some that are going to come round like this, you're going to have some that are going to be more sort of sideways, we're going to be having a few that are tiny ones that are flicking, that are going round. And so when we do bottom petals, we're actually going to be starting at the tip and then bringing it inwards. And when we're doing the ones at the top, we're starting again, you can start either at the tip or you can start from the tip from the bottom way up and lift it up. It is up to you. Okay, so just have a few practices with this. So we're just going to practice the more shapes, and they're just sort of, they're going to join together. This is just very fun, and there isn't really any wrong way to do this. It is just about practicing and seeing where you like the flower to be. So for the perspective, you can see the petals at the bottom are shorter and smaller than the ones at the top, and this is going to give the illusion that the flower is facing us at a three-dimensional angle rather than flat, such as this one. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to paint the whole flower. If you want, you can pause the video, have a few more practices of the petals, but we're going to go ahead and begin the actual flower. So what I like to do is I like to have sort of one or two big leaves that I kind of just have as the main feature. So maybe just one here and then one on the side, and then maybe sort of a little one that just comes around. And then to make sure that we can see this little one, when you're going to come around and do a leaf behind it, you want to make sure that you leave some space so that you can see the leaf is there, and just leave a little bit of white space. And then we're going to be having maybe some ones that are a bit more smaller and more towards the side, and then maybe some that flick out a little bit. And then we're going to be doing some little petals towards the bottom to accentuate the dimension of the flower, the angle that the flower, we're painting the flower on. And then maybe just this one's going to be a big leaf, so we're just going to be, if you can just see, I'm literally just smudging my brush in a way like that, so it kind of just looks like a big leaf is there, and it's kind of folded so it doesn't look as the ones do when they are standing up. And that is pretty much it. It's that simple. It is really just trying out different strokes, having fun with it, and seeing where it takes you. I'm then just going to go in with a little bit of grey to put in as the bud, so this just completes the look. And there you have it. That is a very simple and easy watercolor practice for 3 flowers that you can use in so many different flower compositions, and they are perfect for cards or anything that you like to paint. It's just a very nice way to calm down and relax. So I hope you found today's video helpful. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.